championship game last night. Do the same thing with Jared Sutton. How's everyone doing?
Good. How you doing?
Next question.
Nice and refreshed
No.
after a nice little vacation.
No.
Batteries recharged.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. I got a lot to say, but I'm not going to say hardly any of it.
Well, that's no fun.
Well, you ever had plans to stay with family on a vacation, and then day of have them refuse to see you?
Can't say that I've had that happen.
Well, I have.
Well,
And then you have to scramble and decide, hey, we're supposed to leave in an hour. Should I disappoint all my kids or almost all my kids? Or should I scramble and get 2 hotel rooms for 4 nights in Chicago, day of?
ouch.
I'm not looking to disappoint anybody.
That's the thing about having a big family too. Like when we travel, you're not just getting one hotel room.
Yeah.
Doubling the price right there.
So, it got started off well, we were leaving like at 7 in the morning, and I woke up to this unique message. So it's fun, baby, I've often told stories about my extended family
Yeah.
and why I don't see them anymore. There we go. There's a reminder. But, I couldn't decide, what do we do? What do we do? And what do we do? We got the car packed. We're getting ready to go. And now we have nowhere to stay. What do we do? What do we do? And I said, you know what? I know what we do. As I've told my kids many times, there will be people in your life that will let you down. I'm not going to be one of them. So,
Boom.
and we had a blast. We had an absolute blast. So,
Well, that's good, man.
we did a lot of walking. That was fun. And so once we got over that.
Chicago's a great walk-in town if
yeah.
if the weather can hold up for you.
And we stayed out in the suburbs like we were going to make it more, because I checked, hey, what would it like to get a hotel room day of down in Chicago? No, okay,
Ooh.
all right then. Northwest suburbs it is. Because we plan on going to the Woodfield Mall one day for, to spend the day there. Because we're going to go places that I'd grown up going to, because I spent a lot of time in Chicago back when my family wanted to see me. And so we did a lot of the things that I did. And we've gone to Chicago a bunch of times over the,
Yeah.
even as the kids. But we spent, time in Chinatown, which was freaking awesome. I wish we would have spent more time in Chinatown. But we ate all the places that we wanted to eat. One day we drove downtown to Chicago and parked the car and spent 9 hours walking around and shopping Magnificent Mile and Chinatown, and went to the Bean and, doing all the stuff that you would do. And all that we could do. We crammed as much as we could in the 9 hours. So, but it was awesome, And I love road trips because there's not very many left where I can get everyone in the car. Like Richie couldn't go because he had to work, but Phil was able to get off of work and go. And so there's something, one of my favorite feelings in the world nowadays, even more than it used to be, is to look in the rearview mirror and see that the back seats are filled with my kids, because I got them. I'm good. I got everything under control. I'm driving. I got my family in the car. And so, man, don't take that for granted, man, because now it's very difficult to get everyone together and force them to listen to my music. You know. Now, everyone, we're going to listen to the complete library of Billy Joel, and from the beginning. Hey, look, the Elvis Presley in concert soundtrack's available on Spotify, and from the beginning. Here we go. So, it was awesome, though. We had so much fun.
That's great. Chicago's a great town.
We ate so much. I ate so much. I'm personally embarrassed by how much I ate, but it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, so we went. You know what? We went ham for about 4 days.
I will bring you down, baby. I will bring you down to Chinatown.
Yeah, that was my favorite. There was a little cafe called Three Happiness. It's a little hole in the wall. You, if you're, a tourist, or you'd never go inside of it, right? You just walk right past it. But my dad took me there when I was like 12, maybe younger, because he had to meet a guy there. No kidding. I got to meet a guy there. I go, okay, I'm with you. I'm going. And but it's got the most unbelievable food in the world. I mean, to me, favorite Chinese restaurant anywhere that I've ever had. And I mean, you order something and it just, one dish feeds families. And of course, we got 3 of them. So
Yeah,
there you go.
You have to.
Because I have a fill. National championship game. Man, the Final Four and the national championship game left quite a bit to be desired. Last night was dramatic. I mean, unbelievably, UConn had a 3-point shot in the air that could have made it a 1-point game with under a minute left, but they missed it. And so, very impressed by their fight. And did they cover? What did that close at? What was the line?
It moved 5.5 to 6.5.
So it was right there.
Right there. I live betted at 5.5.
Oh no. Close.
Wait, which side did you take?
UConn.
Yeah. Close. But Michigan ends up as the national champs. And a team full of transfer portal finds and a coach that's been there 2 years, and Dusty May wins the national championship. Which again is a reminder, there are no 4 and 5 year rebuilds in college basketball. You go get a brand new team in the transfer portal and you can roll. Now you got to have a lot of money, obviously, to get the kind of talent they put together. But
you also got to spend it the right way
Yeah.
and get them to play together.
yep,
And I think that's the tricky part. And they didn't really get anything from Lindeborg yesterday, at least in the offense, and they still won.
nah, he wasn't 100%. You could tell.
Nope. His halftime interview was like the most honest player interview I've ever seen. He was like, "Yep, I feel weak. Can't make anything."
I was rooting for UConn.
Were you?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't dislike their head coach the way everyone else does.
Yeah.
And I can, I don't mind seeing greatness. And no offense to you or Jake, but it seems like it really irritates Duke and North Carolina and Kentucky and even Kansas when UConn wins, because there's still a refusal to let them in the club, no matter how many national championships they win. And it seems like there's a reluctance to give credit to everyone's talking about Dan Hurley and his anger and his meltdowns and his press conferences, and it seems like there's a little bit of reluctance to say, well, he's also a fantastic coach, probably the best coach in college basketball. I mean, I know Dusty May won last night, but I mean, this guy was that close to winning 3 national championships in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't supposed to get there and win it this year.
And Michigan was blowing everybody out.
Right.
They just for them to be in the game was actually a hell of a coaching job. Like UConn played a really good game. It was like, I don't know if you saw the halftime, but they spent the first part of the halftime show talking about how UConn was doing everything right, and Charles Barkley's like, y'all know they're losing, right?
Right.
And it's like, Yeah, but that's how well they're playing, and that's how like. I mean, when we talked with CJ yesterday on the show, he was like, "Yeah, Michigan just they beat everybody by 15."
But there was one path they had to make an ugly defensive game. There was one kind of game basically that they had to play had to play out for them to have a chance to win, and it was their pace. Yeah. They dragged Michigan down into the mud with them, and rolled around with them, and gave themselves a chance to win. They didn't pull it off.
Right.
And it's just funny to me.
Came a lot closer than Arizona did.
Yeah. Well, Arizona just they
rolled over.
Weren't even on the floor with them, really.
Yeah.
It's funny to me also listening. I've heard more than a few people. North Carolina hired their basketball coach now, Michael Malone, the guy that we all thought they were going to hire. What? But I heard more than a few times North Carolina people say, when they were talking about coaches and who they wanted, Dan Hurley's name would come up. Not that he would leave UConn for North Carolina, but, we wouldn't want him. We don't want him. And I'm like, what?
That's nonsense.
What?
That's nonsense.
Are you kidding me? I know Bill Self's coming back, and congratulations, good for you guys. But I haven't heard Kansas people. We wouldn't want him. Like,
he wouldn't come to Kansas, but I would,
Well, that's a different. But we wouldn't want him.
I brought that up to Sherm. He said, I don't think.
No, but you've heard that. You heard people say that.
We wouldn't want him. Yeah, but that's ridiculous.
Okay. I would. I mean,
yeah.
He's
the best coach in college basketball right now.
He hurts people's feelings.
I think he's misunderstood, too.
I think he doesn't give a rip, and he's a fighter. I think his mentality plays perfectly on the East Coast. I think that is one thing that would be a challenge for him coming here is just that people might be offended,
His team takes on his personality.
I was going to say, I don't think they would.
His team absolutely takes on his personality, and that's why that's the biggest reason they're so good. Does he cross the line every once in a while? Sure, but that's because he's always pushing on the line. And I'm with you guys.
We all romanticize the Big Eight.
Yeah.
And the Big Eight was filled with coaches that crossed the line, that had big personalities, that coached kids tough,
were fighters,
that were mean at times, that were fighters that looked like they were going to fight each other.
Yeah,
we all act like we love that, but now when we see a coach that would have fit him,
yeah.
There's just I don't know. People just turn their nose up at coaches that want to coach kids tough and not take any crap, And it's like, I kind of like that.
Yeah, and the players on UConn's team don't seem to have a problem with it.
Yeah, they seem okay with
they like all that winning.
that and like you said, tough kids that didn't back down. It could have got away from them last night. Remember out of halftime when it jumped out to 11, and here we go. I don't know what you guys think. Here we go. Michigan's gonna go, and this is gonna end up being a 15 or 20-point win. And then I couldn't even figure out how it happened, but they start pressing, and I think was it Bill Raftery or so. The Big Ten's not a pressing league. They're having trouble here, and then and then just like that, all of a sudden, did you see one thing stood out to me? I think it was after UConn got a steal or got the turnover, and they were only down 4, and they go to a timeout, and Dan Hurley had this diabolical, devilish grin, like
It was after the bank.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, after that bank shot.
It's like this is where he lives. You got to be scared to death right now if you're Michigan, based on what you just saw them do in the Elite Eight to Duke.
There's less than 20 seconds. You think he'd be like all intense and like, okay, here we go, guys. But he's like dying laughing because that guy just hit a bank shot.
But honestly, like, and maybe this is just me. Weren't you like, wait, hold on. How are they? How is this happening? And then when Michigan missed the 2 free throws, and they had the ball. Wait a minute! This isn't supposed to happen, and it just did. And that when they had a 3-pointer up in the air to make it 1, didn't make it. Kids got to make shots, but they were right there. And part of that is that team is so tough, doesn't back down, doesn't quit, is mentally tough.
Hey, I had a front row seat to it at Allen Fieldhouse earlier this year. And where we were sitting, you could just watch Dan Hurley the whole game. By the way, and he is on the ref the whole game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every call and everything. But that game was a close game. And then down the stretch, that team made every play they needed to make to win the game. And Kansas didn't. And there's a mental toughness, there's a physical toughness. And they just and one thing I'll give them too, like Michigan is so big and they had guys that were affecting shots all over the rim, but UConn just kept going back in there. And some people might say, well, that's stupid, you're getting your shot blocked and everything, but it's like there's a mentality to it that we're not scared, we're going to keep going to the basket, and we're going to keep making you defend around here. I was selfishly, Connecticut's won so many titles. As a Kansas fan, I don't want them to keep winning more. You know what I mean? I can't. There's no way I would deny that they're blue bloods or whatever you want to call it, whatever the term is for a dominant basketball program. That's what they are.
I saw one North Carolina. Not a fan, but someone that runs a fan site, after they hired Malone, and the discussion was, thank God a guy like Dan Hurley won't be representing our school. Like, what are you talking about? What are we talking about here? I mean, you think he's driving around, like, pulling over and beating the hell out of people on the side of the street or something? Like, what is he, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I love the way his teams play.
Yeah. What's the worst thing that Hurley's actually done? I mean, I know he got nose-to-nose with the ref after the game. And that ref, by the way, was like, yeah, it was no big deal. Nothing happened. Right. Which, by the way, we could use a little more of that maybe from some refs, that get a little too sensitive.
No, people love to be outraged on other people's behalf.
Oh, well, that's the truth.
Even when that person's not outraged with that,
Yeah.
whatever.
This cannot stand. And the ref's like, well, it wasn't a big deal.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. His team just hit one of the most incredible shots in NCAA tournament history. He got.
It seems like Jake wants to say something here, but I don't know.
Nothing. I really enjoy his antics on the sideline. I think he cares about the sport. I think he cares about his players. I think he says all the right things after the game. I mean, he's never had any major violations or suspensions by the NCAA.
We're not talking about Greg Marshall here.
Wow.
I'm
You
saying
are
that.
now?
I am.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't want him representing my school.
Right.
like he allegedly punched one of his own players in the back of the head. I don't want that.
I'm a little tardy to the deal. I'm not going to answer that question.
But that's the point here. We're not talking about that. Has there's not been any allegations like that about?
No. He's never had any type of sanctions, or there's been no scandals around him or violations.
And the main thing is that you asked me why were you rooting for him, because I like to watch his teams play. I like his brand of basketball.
Watching them compete.
Yeah. I like tough teams. I see a lot of teams that are not mentally tough. I'm subject to that quite a bit.
Well, I think that we've seen that with our 3 local schools around here lately. And look at these last couple KU teams haven't been particularly mentally tough. They have been in the past under Bill Self, but I mean, not like what we've seen. I think it's hard in this era. I think it's like that much more impressive when you see 2 teams like what we saw last night, because you got to give Michigan credit too for how mentally tough that they are. Not only are they good, they got a lot of talent, but that's a tough team too.
And building that chemistry so quickly with 5,
Yeah, it's hard.
starters that were someplace else, all out of the transfer portal.
It all seems very, very mercenary. So if you can get a group like that to play together and play hard, I think that's hard.
So when do these microphone stands get put in?
Friday.
Yesterday was my first day with experiencing these.
It's a work in progress.
Is it?
Yeah, just be careful, Nate, when you hit the
No.
desk.
I like it.
Have I been hitting the desk?
Yeah.
With the chair or what?
No, with your palm.
Like
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. See,
I like
there's
it though.
No, I don't. I don't.
But that you got to be like even like
There's,
like that.
there's no
actually,
shock absorbers yet on them.
Is there gonna be?
Yeah.
I love Drake. I love Jason Justice.
He's the best.
He makes
Okay.
this whole place work.
He's the best.
Do you want to ask me what I think of these, or should we not?
Well, they're new. You got to get used
Right.
to them before you can really. They seem more sturdy.
Yeah, you ripped the
Yeah, this
mic.
one-
You're the one that caused this, I think.
So I asked Jake. I was like,
Did you rip
"Is
one
this-
out yet?"
Is this because I destroyed the?
Oh,
broke
the
that
old-
other one?
I don't think it was Drake's idea to do this.
It wasn't.
And so whose idea was it? Do we know?
Oh, I think it's a collection of people. It's for the stream. Now
I
now
s-
now
I-
microphones aren't blocking your face.
I stand against that collection of people
Well, I stand against them every day.
because
They don't like me.
Because let me tell you, and nobody cares. Who cares? Like, who cares what I think?
I do.
I hate these microphone stands with all of my damaged heart. I absolutely hate them.
That's why. Look, there's only one person who has the old ones.
I love, and I'm looking at you right now, longingly.
What don't you like about these?
I-
old ones?
everything.
You can't move around.
I like being able to move them around. They're
you
not
can't-
mobile.
See, look at me.
I
Hey
can't
guys.
do with what I want to
Look
do.
at these. Like I tried to move it down.
Yeah.
It pops right back up.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
Look at me over here.
I couldn't.
But now we can see his face better.
I don't want anyone to see my face, and I'll be honest with you, nobody wants to see my face.
Yeah, you can't move them at
Nobody
all.
wants that. That's not. That's why I do a radio
For
show.
the social.
That's why I got into radio, so I'm not seen.
That's why I said you will not replace this one in here. No, you won't.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, look.
I said no, you will not.
Do you understand?
Yes,
where
I
I'm
do.
coming from here?
Why? That's why. Look, That's why I said no, not in here.
So I'm not wrong.
No, I mean I don't know. I don't think you are, but I guess it's a personal preference. But my personal preference is like this is my home. You will not come in my home and disturb it.
I love that. So I should have guessed that. That's so great. Jake's like, nope,
No.
not my microphone.
And me and Drake have a great understanding.
Yep.
He's one of the few people that get me.
I just feel like the guy that does morning drive 4 hours a day should have been consulted. Like, hey, what do you think?
Nah. You're out of
You
town.
know they waited till you left too.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I know. You love this.
I don't. I mean,
No, the joy you're getting out of
Well-
this. You love this because you can almost.
I was waiting to.
I got in here and I was like, oh, I'm happy to be back at work, and I saw this. I go, what the?
right.
And then I started to try to move them around. I go, what the?
Yeah. It's funny how everybody processes things differently because when I got in here yesterday filling in for you, I was like, is this because I broke that one over there?
Yeah.
I want someone to blame.
That's all I
and
thought
so
about. I was
you're
like,
convenient.
Yeah.
No, this was happening. It's for.
I had no input. Nobody asked me. Nobody cares what I think at all.
It's for the
Well,
stream.
Clearly, I'm in your boat as well.
Your opinion should
Clearly.
carry a little more weight than mine around here. I'm just a
No.
fly.
I carry
fly by
more
the seat of
weight
my pants
than
guy.
pretty much anyone, just because of my size. But you know, Jake's taking great joy in this.
I don't.
Because you could tell as my work wife, you could see when I'm steaming.
But
Well,
Stephen,
I'll
all
be
you got to
honest,
do, you can do a little passive aggressiveness now
Yeah.
and just keep doing this one.
Yeah.
Hey, I really like these new microphones. They sound good.
How's this sound?
Because yesterday was really the first day we actually used them, because they actually changed them during, like, while Lebo was doing the show on Friday. So, like, Drake would go in during the commercial break and take them out, and the only one that didn't get changed till after the show was the one Lebo was on. And so yesterday was really our first introduction to them, and I had brought that up because a couple times when Scott Carroll and Nate were on, because you don't have to hit it very
That was
hard.
barely.
Right,
You know.
you're just barely touching it. And I said, Drake, I think we have an issue with the. And I played him some audio, and he's like, "Yep, we're gonna have to fix that."
Yeah. Oh, hey Drake, we got an issue with him.
But it's all about how it looks. Who cares how it sounds, guys? You can see your
in
smiley
radio?
faces. I don't know. No, it's all about the stream now, right? Hey,
I want names in the commercial
hey,
break, buddy.
YouTube.
We'll
Hey,
take a
Facebook.
break now.
We're streaming.
I'm reaching for something that ain't there. You know what? That defines my life.
was gonna say, what a
Always
metaphor.
reaching for something that ain't there.
Yeah.
It's just out of my grasp. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHP. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB, where every day is a new day. Now we're joined by former Royals reliever Jaime Bluma. Hello, how are you, Jamie?
I am good, Stephen. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you as well. The Royals won last night.
They did.
How about that?
I like it.
I like it as well.
Yeah, Walker was good. Not his best stuff, but pretty good stuff, and battled. We needed him with the bullpen logging a lot of innings recently.
Waka's consistency is such a treat for the rotation. You can just, you can write down what his ZRA is going to be before the year.
He's just
going to deliver.
He's just so fun to watch pitch because of how many different pitches he throws and his ability to locate, change speeds, never get in a predictable, pattern. Like, that's every young pitcher should watch him. Seth Lugo, same difference, both those guys. And for guys that don't throw 95, 96, 97, which it seems like everybody does in this day and age, he tops out at 93, maybe every once in a while get a little bit more than that. But for him to go out and do what he does and all the different pitch mixes that he has, it's fun to watch. And I don't know how many times this year we'll get somebody to go through 7 innings. And then to navigate through the trouble that he did to be able to get through 7 was pretty impressive. Especially...
Sorry.
High stress stuff. It was tied 1-1. We haven't really pitched with a lead much at all any time this year. So to go out there and see what the starting rotation's done so far, knowing that they have to do what they've been doing for us to be at 500, has been pretty impressive so far.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it. Is that the starting rotation's the reason this team's 500?
No doubt.
And with the bullpen looking the way it's looking right now, they might need some guys to go 7 innings a little more often.
Yeah, we'll talk about bullpen here in a little bit. Yep.
Not trying to be negative about it. It's just that, we had Buster on when you were out of town, Stephen, and he said he thinks the Royals are going to be aggressive on the trade market early. Like, they're not going to wait around because they know they need some help in the bullpen, and that's something you can actually address, and they don't want to wait too long. So we'll see if that pans out that way. But the bats are going to come around. The guys that aren't quite hitting yet, they'll hit.
Yeah, that's the guys that you can pencil in that are that aren't doing anything. I was listening to Seren yesterday, and he was like, "All right, what's the worst OPS? What 3 positions are the worst OPS?" It's DH, first base, and shortstop. That's our 3 worst positions right now, which nobody would have ever thought that to start the year. So that just tells us we're getting production from parts of our lineup that we're not used to getting any production from, especially, Isbell to start the year. Man, that's been a pleasant surprise, and some contributions from other people in the lineup when those 3 guys aren't swinging the bat. And we get those guys swinging the bat. The fact that we are at 500. And I think somebody said yesterday we still have maybe the 10th best OPS in Major League Baseball. I didn't look that up. Somebody said that yesterday. I'm like,
I think that was K-Dog.
Then the other 20 teams must really suck.
Well, they're not. It's just that the guys you're used to carrying the lineup are the ones that aren't hitting. But that actually is great news because they're going to hit. Like Bobby Wood Jr. is going to hit.
He doesn't have an extra base hit yet.
Yeah,
is that not crazy?
It's crazy, but he's going to go on a tear.
Sure.
I got an idea for the bullpen.
What you got?
Luinder Avila.
How's that sound?
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Did you like that? Jake, did you like that?
Well, I wondered what was happening over there.
The Royals,
quality.
10 games in, have the 3rd highest OPS in the American League.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Luinder Avila.
There. That's my idea for the bullpen.
Luinder Avila.
Hey, I'm not saying that just after he came up for the spot start and looked bad. I said that after I watched him out of the bullpen in the WBC.
Right. We talked about it.
I get it. They want to stretch him out and keep him as a starter. And when I see him, I see tremendous reliever.
Yep.
And maybe they'll come around to that idea, or maybe he'll end up being a fantastic starter, and I'm stupid. But boy, when you look at what this team has, and what this team doesn't have, and what this team needs, he sure looks
Luinder Avila.
Yeah.
Luinder Avila.
I like that, by the way, the pronunciation page for that the Royals. It's
awesome.
That they get to do it themselves.
Right.
I like
That's
that.
the way it should be done.
Absolutely.
And so, but I thought that was just a funny way for me to tell you
Yeah.
that I think you should be
Can you do
In the bullpen.
Michael Garcia?
if you like me to, I can.
I would like that.
Michael.
I could do this all day. Well,
Yeah.
it was a lot easier with the former microphone that I had here, but now it's more of a challenge. But that's fine.
I can take care of it.
Michael Garcia. Michael Garcia.
Michael.
Like that.
Michael.
Anyone else?
Okay. I like it.
Anyone else?
Michael Garcia. Michael Garcia.
Is there anybody else in question? I don't think so.
Yeah, but Asa Lacey's still on here somehow.
How does Salvi say
That
his
sounds
name?
like Kaiser
Asa
Soze.
Lacey. Asa Lacey.
They don't have Salvi on here because I think they expect most everyone to know it.
Yeah.
So
I think we've been saying his name wrong the whole time, though.
now, see, I'm going to get in a fight with you about that because my grandmother's last name was Perez, and that's the way she said it. So
And
how do you
that's
wanna
why I
say
want.
it?
Well, that's why I
Perez.
want to know how he says it.
How do you say it?
I think there's an accent over the first E, isn't there, in his name?
Don't ask
It
me.
would be Perez,
Yeah.
but
Someone tried to say that to my grandma one time, and she cursed them in
Yeah.
Spanish.
that's why. Honestly, like it with MLS, they do the same thing, and it helps. Like hearing how a person says their own
Right.
name. Because remember, like Angel Baroa, he started calling himself Angel when he was in town, and Tony Pena would call him Angel. So sometimes guys just change. They'll Americanize their name, and that's that's their prerogative. Whatever you want to do. That's why, like, hey, how do you say your name? I'll try to say it the way you say it. So it's awesome that they have this now, where you can do it.
Michael Waka.
How does Bobby Witt?
Why am I so entertained by this? And I was going to do this.
Didn't know where that was going.
I'm like
Michael Waka.
I'm a moron. Just like push buttons and hear people say their names.
It's great now.
Highly
too.
entertaining.
Jaime Bluma.
Instead of like having the big voice guy being like,
Right.
we could just have, when you're playing highlights, you could just have the guy saying his name. Bobby Witt Jr. and gone.
Here's a good one.
Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah.
Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny Pasquantino.
There's so many new ones all over the league that I have to make sure to pay attention and listen. One guy's nickname's Password, which is that Jost Nixon? Is that his name? Outfielder was with the Red Sox, maybe?
If you say so.
Yeah. Password's his nickname because of however many. How do you pronounce his name or all the...
But is that crazy to think that perhaps some help for the bullpen is right there? I mean, it seems like that's they're deep in starting pitching. I mean, even I don't even think he's. I mean, Bergert's the number 6 guy that he didn't use him because when he had started on Wednesday, so he couldn't start over the weekend. I mean, it seems like he's got the makeup to be a stud reliever.
I think so. I mean, we saw it in the World Baseball Classic. I mean, that's always the argument is what's more valuable is, starter because he can throw X amount more innings or reliever. I mean, it seems like you try to make everybody a starter at one point, and then when you're a failed starter,
But I feel like
you make your way to the bullpen. But, man, I think he fits in as a reliever with us.
When you're a team that's trying to make the playoffs, that's planning on making the playoffs, you look to see, and I'm not talking about guys at A-ball, guys that are ready to help you right now. What do we need? What can help us win games right now? And I think he can help them win games out of the bullpen. There are no openings in the rotation, and let's say somebody went on the IL, next guy up would be Ryan Berger. So he's not even, I listened to the argument, well, he's basically our 6th starter, and then once he gets healthy, I think the 7th starter is Kolek.
Right.
And so, that's just me, though.
I mean, he makes the most sense. I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't on this roster to start the season, but also they wanted him to get stretched out as a starter, and then that went one turn down in Omaha, and then he's here. So that just tells you, I mean, thank God we have depth at the AAA level because we didn't used to have any of that stuff. And from a bullpen standpoint, I mean, even the thing last night that drives me nuts, and Boddicker will say the same thing tomorrow, man, I feel like our relievers are 1-0 on everybody. Last night, even Strom, he gave up the solo home run to make it 4-2. But, man, we were 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Man, get ahead of guys. That just changes that bat so much, especially on a night last night. Hitters, a little cold, man, windy. Not a fun offensive night in Cleveland, even more for a reason that you want to get out there and pitch because guys don't want to swing the bat on nights like that quite as much.
And I was driving back. I was listening to Seren for a while and brought up the point that, under Dayton Moore, there were some examples of them being stubborn. Now, they had trouble developing starting pitching, and so they did everything they could to turn guys into starting pitchers. But, like, for example, look at Brad Keller. They were stubborn about him, and he leaves and he's an elite reliever. He's a fantastic reliever, and some guys, I mean, just think about Wade Davis. When they traded for Wade Davis, he was a starting pitcher, and then he became one of the best closers we've ever seen.
That just tells you what happens is it goes both ways. Maybe it's a different set of eyes on you in a different organization that gives you that ability, and you change things up a little bit. Excuse me. I mean, I remember early in Wade Davis's career over here, I think I called him Wade Davies because he wasn't doing so great as a starter.
Wow.
But then to transition to the bullpen when you'd never done it and to have that kind of success, it switches all the time. I mean, Brad Keller, good for Brad Keller. When he came over here as a Rule 5 guy, you forgot he was a Rule 5 guy and got non-leverage situations down in our bullpen, parlayed that into, a part of our rotation for a while, and then, got hurt a little bit, and then we lost him. And then he goes somewhere else, and you get to ramp it up because you're only going to pitch for short stints. Everybody's stuff ticks up when they get to go to the bullpen because you don't have to conserve energy or do those type of things. So now, not everybody's destined to be a reliever. Some people don't like those type of situations where you don't know whether you're going to pitch that day, you got to get ready in a hurry.
I don't think you like
guys
this.
like the routine of what starting pitchers have to do. You look like you're about to fart.
Well, no, because I don't think you would like me bringing this name up. You see who else is turned into a pretty good reliever and got the save last night?
Who's that?
Jacob Junis.
Oh, nice. I watched our boy Ryan Stanek gave up a 3-run home run last night, but
like
Junis, same thing. I mean
But like last year, 66 innings, 57 appearances, a 2.97 ERA and a 1.23 WHIP. And this year so far for Texas, he's pitched in 5 games, 6 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, and got the save last night.
Awesome, good for him.
Right, but that's just another example where you go somewhere else and hey, that's a reliever.
I just did it.
What did you do?
I did it. Sorry, Jake. I couldn't help it. I was holding off as long as I could.
This would be
but
good.
I barely touched it.
During football season,
in my ear.
The Chiefs, Yeah.
Well, the old adage used to be you wanted to be a starting pitcher or you wanted to be a closer because that's where the money's at.
If I tell a joke, that's good.
Yeah.
The subtle one is the one I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like to set my coffee down.
But so don't get mad, Jake. Like I look at my phone, but I'm not doing it on purpose. Or am I?
I don't know.
Go on with your thoughts on starters and relievers.
Well, I mean that was the old adage because that's where all the money was. There wasn't any money being a middle reliever. Nobody was going to get paid to be a middle reliever. Now that's changed. I mean, look at Brad Keller just signed a 3-year, I think $33 million deal with the Phillies as a middle guy. So not everybody gets the glory of being one of those. I mean, there's a great career to be had to go be just a relief pitcher. I mean, hopefully you get into a situation where your team's good enough or you end up slotting in as the 7th or 8th inning guy. And then, man, closers change so often. You couldn't really there's very few teams you can be like, all right, who's the closer for that team? Obviously, Edwin Diaz is now with the Dodgers, but there's not many guys in the league anymore that,
It is
their
increasingly
closer.
difficult
Right.
for several, and here we go with Mr. Roto Nerd Fantasy Baseball Dummy. Go try to figure out who the closer is for Tampa. Go try to tell me who the closer is for Oakland.
I don't think they
really,
know. I don't think
if you
they know.
tell me so I can pick them up.
So, and a lot of times, I don't necessarily believe that closer by committee is time has proven that maybe not the best option. But a lot of people try that because they don't know and they're trying guys out, and everybody's going to get that opportunity. So you start to figure it out. I mean, thank God we've got Urseg to take place of Estevez.
Yeah, who's the Twins closer? Who's the
I was watching the Twins closer the other
Cole
night.
Sands?
Well, and then I got
week?
to thinking, you know who I got to thinking of that I really enjoyed watching, and he was the Twins closer, was Joe Nathan. How good Joe Nathan
Yeah, who's
stuff
Tampa's
was back
closer?
then.
Who's
No idea.
the A's closer? Who's the Rangers closer?
No clue.
All of them. That's just the American League.
Game's different. You know? It's different now.
You're different.
Ned Yost wanted guys to know exactly what inning was their inning because he thought that would help them mentally prepare for the day. But that's a different game now.
But I feel like
when you're able to have guys.
Matt Couture might lock into that too if he had Wade Davis, Greg Holland, and
right.
Cubby
That's
Herrera,
true.
maybe.
That's true. Ned was famous for being great at managing a bullpen when he had those guys, and then all of a sudden when those guys were gone, it was like, this guy doesn't know how to manage a bullpen.
Oh, come on, Nate.
Right.
I'd like to hear you say that to his face.
Yeah, when guys are pitching good, it's a lot easier to be a good manager.
Yep.
Or coach in
Makes
general.
you a lot smarter.
Right.
On that note, we'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Good God, Nate, what is wrong with you?
What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here for my great friends at WeatherTech Renovations. And they are your trusted local roofing experts. Winter, snow, ice, and wind can quietly damage shingles, flashing, and gutters. And when those spring rains hit, small issues can quickly turn into costly leaks. Don't wait until you see water spots on the ceiling. Contact WeatherTech Renovations for any issues you might have. They specialize in roof inspections, storm damage repair, and full roof replacements. They have an experienced team that you can trust. Protect your home, protect your investment, and gain peace of mind before severe weather season ramps up. Schedule your free roof inspection today with WeatherTech Renovations and make sure your home is covered this spring. Give them a call today. 816-988-8957. 816-988-8957. Or online at WTRenovations.com.